Hello collective, welcome to the channel. It is August 3rd, 2025. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for being here, everybody. It's 11:39 a.m. Let's check in and see what storyline Spirit would like to share with you. Storyline for the collective, please, Spirit. Storyline for the collective. What would you like the collective to know, please? In the central energy, we've got the Emperor, Father figure, stabilizing the foundation, restoring law and order, offering some kind of discipline perhaps. In the challenge position, that came out and it turned into the reverse there. Knight of Pentacles reversed. So he's challenged by a Knight of Pentacles reverse. They're not willing to work for anything, or they did work that did not bring any kind of a reward. They're feeling stuck. I don't know. Let's see if the Emperor is feeling stuck, or if he's dealing with somebody who's feeling stuck, or if he wants to stick somebody. In the subconscious, a wish come true, your Nine of Cups. Yeah, so Knight of Pentacles worked without reward. The Emperor is seeing to it that they don't take your wish come true. In the recent past, we've got the Six of Swords here. So yeah, you're leaving something behind. You could have released some baggage. These antagonists are saying that you are, what did they say? Going up. So it's like you're being elevated, lifted. You're moving on. Intentions and expectations. Higher vibrational love union. In the near future. A Knight of Wands. We've got some folks out there, the ones who are, you know, into gaining contract, whether it be legitimate or false, with power sources, those people who have energy and gifts, and they've been utilizing passion to connect there. So they're worried about you fornicating with your kingdom spouse. So they just be aware, use your discernment. They may come in very impulsively and try to slip in, okay? They know this is happening. They're desperate to regain connection with you. the lens that's being looked through is the Five of Cups. It could be that they have failed, that they are disappointed about this loss. They could try to come in and get this. We're gonna get more clarification to make sure that it's what I'm thinking. We'll just see. In the environment here, yeah, we've got the Eight of Cups, abandonment. So they're in regret because they're getting left behind. You want the real deal, man. You know, you want two love cups coming together. You don't just want Mr. Schwingster or Miss Black Hole. You know, you want something that's going to feed into you as you feed into them. Or pour into you as you pour into them. Somebody who adds to the closed loop, the circle of power between you, and not somebody who's just siphoning out of it. Hopes and fears, we've got judgment. And in the outgoing energy, we've got the Two of Swords here. Difficult decisions are being made. These ones were told some time ago to go seek wise counsel, that their savior didn't save them. The swords could be up. There could be a balance. These unions here, it's a balanced love union, and they're like very guarded. They've got their abundance. They're coming into their Ace of Pentacles, and they could be making plans for the future together. And we've got conflict here. So it could very well be, too, that these people who are bringing conflict to your foundation are being laid to rest. Take it as it resonates. Yeah, so the enemy or the adversary spoke of fornicating last night. They were concerned about it because this curator has been deemed a vampire, an energy vampire. He has been deemed an energy vampire. You know, they tried to use proper words because these ones are all about saying the right thing while they're still brutalizing under the words, right? So they use words to cast an illusion that they're prim and proper and doing all the right things, but underneath of that, they're very cruel, very aggressive. So, and they use sexuality to do that. So we've got the Emperor here. He is... restoring some kind of freaking discipline to the foundation regarding the Star, regarding energy, regarding the vitality of the Christed being, the luminaries. He's offering protection. So he's building a structure that will be safe for a luminary, you know, because this has been a feeding ground for centuries. So it looks like we've got a Knight of Pentacles here who worked without reward. They worked without reward. They're feeling stuck because of your strength and your courage. You know, I mean, they saw you as this little bit that they could just go take little bites out of and num, 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 feed. They feed. They go wherever the energy is and they feed on it. They work without reward. They're feeling stuck because of your strength. You got this wish come true here. A life of luxury is coming for you. And these ones were so mad. They wanted to get in on it. This is yours. And these ones are like, no, I need to get in there. You know, go sex you up. Come on, give it to me, give it to me. Let me have your ship. Let me get on your ship. I want a friendship, partnership, sexual relationship. All this stuff. So you're getting a wish come true and an Ace of Pentacles. You've got a whole big life of luxury here. You could be getting a new career, a new opportunity. Whatever it is that you're going to be building together will be fantastic. You're moving on. You could have recently moved on. You could have went up already. That was last night's message. It meant you have been lifted into a space and place that they cannot follow you. You're leaving them behind. You're moving on. So we've got a collective here, 3 of Pentacles and a 7 of Pentacles. So they've been working together on with their skills for security and long-term rewards. The 7 of Pentacles is their investment has offered them sustainable results. Long-lasting. So it's like all the details were paid careful attention to. So we've got united love, mutual. So you're in alignment. Your values are aligned. You both want the same things. You're both got a cup, and you're bringing it to the connection, the sacred connection. You're both going to pour your love cups into this union, and you will grow it into something fabulous. So there's a marriage connection here, and it could be that the bullies have been defeated. They've either been defeated or, yeah, I think you've defeated the bullies. You've defeated abusive relationships. You made it through the maze, the impossible distractions and snares, and you actually came together. So there is this love connection. You have defeated the bully. There could also be somebody here that wishes to compete. This Knight of Wands. Let's see. What about this Knight of Wands? What's he got going on, Spirit? Nine of Swords. So Mr. Passion Project is in a nightmare. This bully has been defeated. This sexual bully. They come in, using intimate encounters, speaking proper words of love, but then they brutalize that their intention behind those words. So they use proper words for everything, and they've been casting word spells over people, and then hiding under that to bring brutalization. And theft. They're in despair now because they're in a 5 of Cups failure. They're in regret. You could have given them everything. You could have made their life so sweet, and they decided to try to destroy you. Take it. They wanted to destroy you, put you in that black hole soul that they've committed to, and then just keep a portion. What kind of logic is that? That they would find a valuable, a high value, bright light, loving source, and they had it all for themselves, and rather than build with that, they decided to feed it to a black hole soul and keep a portion. And I think the reason why is because they can't be in the energy. They're in a low vibrational lust energy, and it's very selfish, and they just couldn't be in the energy of love, the love light of this star. It hurt them. And so in order, they thought, well, I'm just going to go, get rid of some of this energy and just keep the portion that I'm comfortable with. And then that's that. So now they're in regret because they've lost everything. They're in a 5 of Pentacles. They threw you away. They tried to destroy you. And God said, enough is enough, man. Their job was to pull themselves up out of this selfish lust energy and to be more loving, and they just weren't into it. They just didn't want it. It was their opportunity and they didn't want it. They threw it away. We've got the King of Wands here, who is overcoming a challenge of a Knight of Wands reversed. He's overcome the challenge of this passion project. So the Knight of Wands in the near future is in a Nine of Swords energy. And here in the environment, we've got the Eight of Cups. They're being abandoned. They're very disappointed. They're getting left behind. The King of Wands, who is the true passionate masculine, has overcome this passion project that was running on the program of lust. So I don't know that he himself was in that, I mean, he's obviously passionate, but he's a natural born leader. He's not of the same class. So somebody's getting left behind by this King of Wands, or there's a withdrawal. They have to withdraw from a King of Wands who has overcome the passion project. There's judgment here. He could be calling judgment on it. Like, this is the true divine masculine who's a very passionate leader. And he's been dealing with these F-boys trying to screw up his reputation. He's calling judgment on this. Five of Wands reversed. He's calling judgment on this, and he's like, look, man, we got to respect our differences. You're just a little F-boy, and I'm taking my passion and I'm building things with it rather than tearing things down. So, you can go be in the energy that you're comfortable with, go be that, and just leave us to do what we're going to do. We're respecting the differences. It needs to be beneficial for all. They have their karmic third party that they have been working with. You just go keep that now, and we're just going to take our divine union here, and we're going to go do our thing. It's just fine. They respect the differences. You've chosen the energy that you wish to be in, so go be in that, and then we'll just do whatever we're going to do. So the Two of Swords, there's difficult decisions here being made. There could be some kind of avoidance. Judgment. Your swords are raised. There's a lot of difficult decisions being made regarding judgment right now. Redemption, forgiveness, absolution, or a reckoning and a punishment. Judgment is here in the hopes and fears. There is a recognizing of the differences and a separation. So there's difficult decisions regarding this judgment. This King of Wands is the true divine masculine holding the passion. It's not about lust. It's about a visionary, passionate creator. These other ones were just lustful takers. So we've got this Ten of Pentacles here. It's an inheritance. You're going to have a secure foundation. Only 4 of those pentacles are needed in order to stabilize and secure the foundation. You have whole 10 of them. You've got 6 other pentacles and a whole lot of really good stuff happening in here. There's a life of luxury. And new love, these kingdom spouses, this new love is, again, in the Six of Swords energy, moving on. They're moving on. There is a change. And this is the completion of that cycle and a new celebration, a new beginning. You are in the Chariot. You're moving up. So this says you're going up. You're being lifted up. And I don't think this looks like, they show in the pictures where all these physical bodies are being sucked up into the sun or whatever. I think this is just a frequency, a vibrational shift, a dimensional leap, perhaps. You're going up. And these ones have been discredited, and they have fallen from grace. So they're going down. They are being restricted from spying on, from interfering in these power couple unions who embody the essence of the Son and are united with that Christed being and body. There are new, there's news, there's some kind of news. New beginnings with the true divine masculine who honors himself and his energy. He's not woefully spattering himself all over the world irresponsibly. So these ones who were doing that are in regret, again, with the 5 of Cups and the 4 of Cups. They're getting left behind. They have lost. They've experienced a failure, and they're being disconnected from this, from being able to play here. The Queen of Wands, who has been very determined, and no matter how many times they broke her, she kept putting herself together. She's like, this is my life and I'm going to live it regardless of how painful it is. And now she's moving into love. She deserves a big old cup of overflowing love, and that's what she's going to get. And I saw this here too, so let me just speak on it real quick. She's going to get that. She's going to get that. Oh, yeah, she is. And you got the Queen of Pentacles here, who's been working with high standards. I've been reading the Queen of Pentacles as a protectress, an ancient one. And she's delivering the law of cause and effect. These ones really pissed off the mama, because of their lustful passion project where they've been tapping into the daughters, her babies, and the sons. They didn't care about gender when it came to extracting goodness out of the vessel. So she's really mad about what they've been doing to the babies. She's been working very diligently with high standards, and she's bringing the cause of the law of cause and effect. Whatever they have put into the world is what she's delivering back. And they can be certain that this mother, protectress, has a team. She's not alone, and she's not messing around. This is not game time. This is not play. We're having fun here. You've got a lot of younger people that have just been, driven down a path of incoherence. They thought that lust and sex was the way to the top of the mountain, and they had a lot of fun, immature, irresponsible fun, while they were bringing pain and suffering to the hearts of people. And true divine mothers and fathers, like this emperor here, they require structure, responsibility. You got to manage yourself in a decent way so that you don't affect the community in a negative way by tearing it apart and destroying the ability to have trust. We've got people breaking into homes, hurting others, stealing their stuff, pretending that they are loving when they're just a passion wand running around trying to plug in to a light source. It's like those electrical cars or whatever. It's like these entities, they need to plug in and recharge like a freaking electric car. They need to feed. They need to power up. So I don't know if these are clones or if they're actually just entities that have been trying to prolong their life throughout centuries while body hopping, destiny swapping, or stealing and siphoning actual energy, electricity, power out of the people that they engage with. Take it as it resonates. They chose, apparently long ago, that rather than be a producer and add to the value of their soul, that they were just going to start feeding on others rather than produce what they need. And that kind of reflects into the world itself, you know, where everybody seems to be producing for some unknown entity that is giving orders, but they're never seen to be contributing anything except demand. So the Emperor is here, disciplined and protecting, offering this stable space for the star energy, the rejuvenator, that which brings life to their community and to everything. You just walking around in this star energy, you're like feeding your environment, healing, enlivening your environment. And that includes the trees. You know, you go sit by a tree and it takes whatever from you and then gives you whatever, you know, carbon monoxide for oxygen and other stuff. They're your friends. They're your co-worker. What do you call that? It's a symbiosis, right? It's an equal exchange. So it's like we're coming back into that equal exchange, equally beneficial environment. These adversaries were talking about the yoke yesterday or the day before. They're upset because you are no longer yoked to them. And you are being lifted up. And they have fallen from grace. Yeah, so the Emperor is here offering protection and a stable environment for the star energy, the revitalizers, the the healers of the world. And somebody needs to surrender their need to control that. They got to surrender. They worked without reward, and they're challenged by the strength and the courage of those people who are not like them. Those people that they chose to make war with. You have grown in consciousness and awareness. You've got a subtle power. You're not out here, you know, raw. You're not out here telling the whole world how you're this special, unique, powerful being who's making everything okay for everybody. And if it weren't for you, right? That's not you. You've got a subtle power, a subtle strength. You don't have to say or do anything. Just by standing there, people recognize your shine and the effect that it has on them. It's not like you're doing anything. And I really think that that's why these ones did that. They were very uncomfortable in the energy. And to them, it seemed logical to reduce you so that they could be more comfortable. But it wasn't just that they were being more comfortable, it's that they were being abusive. They made a game and got pleasure out of reducing you rather than reducing you enough to be comfortable and then building in that space. They didn't even want to build. They didn't want to build anything. They just wanted to go have sex with everybody and everything. And poor animals, the poor animals even, man. Who can't even, I mean, they can't defend themselves any better than we've been able to, and it's sad. So, you're coming into a life of luxury. They have to surrender their need to control that. They're not going to F their way into your destiny. You're not accepting that gift. They have nothing to offer you. They have nothing. They haven't built anything. They haven't shown in their history that they are interested in that. So it's like, okay, go on then. They're going to have to change their career, I guess. Because you're coming into your life of luxury, your wish come true. And you've got an Ace of Pentacles here. You could be having a new job. You've learned a lot throughout this process. And we've got forgiveness. So whatever it was that they tried to stick to you has been forgiven. You are the most sensitive instrument as an original organic human being of the divine. You receive messages and then you send messages. It's not just a little brain inside of this skull. This is a magnificent crystalline communication device. And lust tried to destroy that and then hold on to you in this small space. So they were running programs, soap operas, of violence and self-loathing and addiction and gluttony and all this stuff, these lower vibrational things. They kept moving it with this wireless technology or whatever. They just kept moving it through the transmitter receiver. And, it becomes so agitating at times that your whole emotional body can get really upset by that, especially if they're tampering with the energies of the waters within the body. Then the magnetics of the emotional body might start to wrap up this thing that they're running through the system and claim it. And I think that's what's been happening to a lot of people. And they go to the doctor and they say, I don't know what's wrong with me. And they say, oh, well, you're this or you're that, and take this medicine. And then they shut everything down rather than bringing clarity, right? So anyway, you got the Six of Swords here. You're leaving it behind. There is a Three of Pentacles here. They've been developing some new skills. They've been working on a secure space, a stable, safe environment for the luminaries. And they're in a Seven of Pentacles. They have persevered and they have sustainable results. This was not a wasted effort. They were not playing games. They were not messing around. This is over. This lustful, vampiric siphoning is over. They have sustainable results. This is definitely over. It's not going to start again. This is not one of those half restarts due to a lack of power or gifts or knowledge. Like, you guys got yourselves hooked up with the real deal. All of you real deals wound up coming together, and these ones are very concerned over what's going to happen when you actually fornicate. They're really worried about that, because you on your own is something serious, but when the two of you come together as one and you work up that energy, there's going to be an unseen explosion of light that's going to just permeate everything. It's going to be like one of those EMPs, or those electrical magnetic pulses that goes out. It's going to be like one of those nuclear explosions in the unseen. It's going to affect everything. Whoa. So you got this marriage connection. These sneaky bullies have been defeated, right? So there's that. The marriage has defeated the sneaky bully, the thief. They're in grief over your health, over the health and well-being of your physical vessel that enshrines your soul. These ones have been trying to convict you in the spiritual courts of gluttony. They've been trying to convict you of addiction problems. They've been trying to convict you of having venom in your heart, because you adamantly are pushing away lust boy. You don't want anything to do with them. And they keep pushing in on you, and you're irritated by it because you continuously tell them to stop and they refuse. So they're actually attacking you every time they approach you, knowing that you have not given permission. You have made it very clear you don't want anything to do with them, and yet they continue to push in on you. Then you get agitated, and then they point at you and they say you are full of venom. And it's like you're just a freaking it's like a squatter. Like, they keep trying to squat in your energy, and you're sick of it because they're a thief and you know it. And it's like, get away from me, squatter, thief, squatter, vampiric, thief. Just stay away. So they're very much upset over the health and well-being of your physical vessel. They did everything they could to toxify it with the poisons and the foods and the waters, and they did everything to change the frequency of the waters of the vessel. They messed with everything trying to change that for you. Messing with your mind, trying to keep you in low vibrational thought forms while they were dumping in black energy. They're not successful. So Mr. Passion Project, Knight of Wands, is in a Nine of Swords energy. He's very full of anxiety. He's in a nightmare. He's very worried. He was not successful. He does not know that there's no greater goal than to love. To him, it was all about the schwang. It was all about just going poking into this and poking into that and, you know, extract. It wasn't about building on the foundation of love. They don't have any concept of how to create from this space. They're in regret here. They have failed, and they're in a Five of Pentacles energy. They don't have anything. They've worked without reward. They've worked without reward. Again, they've been defeated. You have defeated them, and they're in grief because they couldn't destroy your health. The health of your mental body, your emotional body, your physical body, your energetic body. They tried to say that your usage of plant medicines was an addiction, and they called them the herbalators. So the naturopaths, the herbalators, those who know plant medicine, they came forward and evaluated and said that you were very disciplined in your usage of it, and it was strictly for managing the health and well-being of your physical temple, to bring it into that homeostasis, right? The adaptogens and such. They tried to twist it. They wanted everybody on synthetic medicines because it's made out of petroleum. It's a toxin to the body. If you take enough of it over time, it will actually destroy your kidneys, your liver, and kill you. And they wanted everybody on this sick medicine, on this sick health care. So, yeah, they have failed. They're in regret. They're in a Five of Pentacles lack. They've lost everything due to your balance. You bring a state of perfect harmony into your world, and you do so without judgment. It's like, judgment isn't mine. Vengeance, it belongs to the Lord, or it belongs to somebody other than me. I'm just going to work on maintaining my physical temple, which houses my spirit and soul. I'm going to bring a perfect sense of harmony to my inner world so that is what is expressed from me, right? You focused on something other than what they thought you should be focused on. And they tried to ridicule, the mother for having a fluffy belly. They tried to ridicule people who were actually not like a Victoria's Secret body. They wanted the women to feel as though they were just, low vibrational, unworthy, fat little pigs, and nobody wanted them. That's how they needed to siphon off of them and to keep them trapped as a servant, because that's where the prize was. But they certainly didn't want her feeling that way. So she created a healthy space for her inside so that she could manage the outside while being attacked by these deceivers, speaking proper words but throwing a foul energy and action. So we've got leaving behind. Somebody's disappointed because they're getting left behind by a King of Wands. He's overcome these challenges with the Knight of Wands. So he's overcome the challenges with these passion project schwanksters out here. They're in a nightmare. It's the true divine masculine, the passion and the love of the true divine masculine has overcome this. They've reclaimed this place. They can no longer tap the mind, the field of consciousness. They can no longer spy on these marriages. I saw there was like the wedding ring. There was like this, a kind of an action like this, and then there was like a visual, and there was like the upright pentagram, and it was like a violet, a very vividly bright, on the more on the red side, or the pinkish side of a violet color, and then it was kind of clouded by some black clouds. So it's like that was a protection. It's like the marriages are being protected. The violet healing love light, this beautiful vibrant healing light of love, it's kind of like a pinkish violet, that is being cloaked. These ones can't tap it. They can't tap it anymore to find out what's going on there, and are there any vulnerabilities. Can they send in a gigolo or a Jezebel? They can't do that anymore. They can't curse you like that anymore. Judgment is being called here, and there's an end to the conflict. It's like, look, you guys, you just operate off of different system. It didn't work out for you, and it's our turn now. So it's just, it's a simple facts. There's no reason to keep fighting. It's very clear the way that it's been it. So there is a lifting of the luminaries, and there is a falling from grace for Passion Project. We're moving into love and loyalty, and we're moving out of the Passion Project. You know, that's not to say that these unions aren't going to be passionate. They're going to be far more passionate than any of these lustful things. Because these unions are soul connected, telepath connected, energetically connected. And when they come together in the 3D, it's going to be the connections of the insides matched with the connections on the outsides. And then what's on the inside and what's on the outside is going to work together to just make this magnificent freaking nuclear energetic. I hope you'd survive. I don't know about you. I keep asking if something like that is going to hurt, and it's like, no. I keep asking, well, are people going to like die? And it's like, no, you know, but I don't know. I've never experienced anything like that, but apparently it's going to be so far different and better. So there's judgment here on the Five of Wands. This conflict is ending. They have to accept responsibility for their own well-being. They can no longer blame you, hurt you, crush you, foul your energy, and steal your happiness and loving energy, and then blame you for the fighting. They can't do that to you anymore. There's difficult decisions being made right now regarding this judgment. The voice of all authority, the Most High, stated they will get what they deserve. And he had this big, booming voice. And when he spoke, it rumbled through all the waters of my body. It was like, wow. I mean, when he speaks, if he wants you gone, all he's got to do is speak, and you're moved out of your vessel. It's just, that's how powerful this is. And you know that they're like stealth. They're like ninjas. You'll never know that this incredible power is standing in the same room with you, watching you be this way. They did not sense it. They did not sense it. They might have, and that might be why they wanted to tear it down. It was too potent, but it was kind of there. Their sensing of it was only because you were before. They were standing before them, connected to Source, and they decided that they needed to punish you because, you know. But God's like, hello. When they hurt you, they hurt the one that was there with you, right? The Most High. They sense the energy of the Most High, and they hurt you because you were the one they could see. Discipline. There's discipline here. Difficult decisions are being made. Judgment is being called. We're entering a new phase, and there's discipline. People will receive what they have given. I don't know how God thinks. Apparently, some of these guys, who behave very poorly, there's sufficient reasoning. And apparently, if there's a confession and a heartfelt, authentic, transparent effort to hold oneself accountable, then I suppose that there's an opportunity for some kind of redemption. But I don't know. Don't quote me. It's just what my spirit tells me and what I've heard. It's like some people who, what I've heard in the background is like some people have actually confessed, heartfelt, and they've received some kind of blessing. So, but some people just won't. They won't. Because they're completely disconnected from love in their heart, so they can't see it. Now, that song, and it's been running through my head. And for love's sake, each mistake, oh, you forgave. And soon both of us learn to trust and not run away. There was no time to play. We're building up. So that, right? So that's where we're moving into. And now we're solid, solid as a rock. That's what this love is. That's what we've got. Happiness. For those who have gifts of the soul that benefit themselves and others, who persevered through these challenges, these intense challenges, and due to your patience, waiting on divine timing, you didn't try to force it, you didn't go to war, you left it to God. And when everything came into alignment, He brought about a failure for them, just as you believed would happen. As an empathic person, you knew that the chain was going to come and these people were going to have to accept it. So, and they are, right? So you looked on the lighter side of life. You remained strong, courageous, and you kept pushing forward. And we're moving into honest, reliable, authentic, devoted relationships that serve the higher purpose for families and for community. And I may as well just say this too. Those who are prideful are worried about your sense of gratitude, your sense of being thankful, even for those most difficult and challenging events and circumstances in your life, because you discovered something about yourself that you would not have otherwise. So you are grateful for the divine to let you realize what these hidden things were. They're worried because you recognize the power within resistance. There's a service here. Somebody's here in service. They're calling judgment on this past chapter. We've got judgment out here 3 times. We've got it in the hopes and fears portion. We've got it in the outgoing energy, and now we have it here. So somebody has a service of calling judgment. This could be a judge, some kind of a law official. This could be the supreme commander, the emperor. It's time for us to be able to trust our love. it's time for us to be able to pour into our connections, knowing that they are going to be matched and amplified in a good, healthy way. You know, a pure way. You know, they're like faithful, loyal, you know, intimate encounters where that energy, that powerful sacral womb energy, does not get polluted by any outside influences. It's a very powerful and potent energy. And when the two of you come together and you work that and you move it through your whole freaking system, and then it starts expanding, this world's going to change drastically in a very swift manner. Especially when your soul, your nervous system, your spirit understands that it can relax into it. And that's when you're really going to enter into the flow. Whatever the divine can move through your temple and into, you know, this connection, and that energy that's going to be coming out, and then the thoughts that are going to be, you know, this intellectual property coming straight from the divine, on how you can move in this world in order to lift it up, to raise it up. And again, it's like these things that you're going to be doing, they're not done with the intention of doing that. It's simply by being together in this joy, this powerful connection in your light energy. Simply by existing and doing what you love together brings about this shift. And it doesn't even have to be verbally or visually expressed to anybody else. Yeah, so they have to surrender. They're getting cast out. They're getting cast away. They're getting homeless. They could not steal your house. They can't live in your house. They have failed. They've worked without reward. They're challenged because of your strength and your courage. And you've grown in consciousness and awareness. You have expanded in a big way. It's like every pain, every time you had to deal with black energy, it's like the love and the happiness in you had to expand in order to encompass it and then manage it. And you did, over and over and over again. So with every time you expanded to encompass, it's like you became bigger and bigger and bigger as a light body. Yeah, you're okay. You're stable. You've grown in consciousness and awareness. You've learned some special skills and techniques using Mother Nature's products, and, you know, perhaps visiting the trees and the waters and such, doing whatever it is that you need to do to maintain your inner homeostasis. And you've learned a lot. You're stable. And it appears as though the higher vibrational beings, whatever you're doing is acceptable. And you know, we are often riddled with this thought that we must judge ourselves harshly, right, for the things that we do. So we've been judged by so many people in our lifetime. If you're old, thousands upon thousands of people have told you what you need to change about yourself in order to be more acceptable, right? And so you've had to move through all of that and stick with, you know, the soul song of you and move into it anyway, authentically. And it was very, very challenging. Justice is being served here. You got your wish come true. Got this. You could have a new career that's going to pay you well. There's forgiveness here, and forgiveness too can mean a release, right? So somebody wants to compromise. They're very frustrated about this path they're on. They're worried about whether or not they're going to survive. Forgiveness is, I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. So forgiveness, you're not harboring any resentment. Like there's no malice in you. You're not full of venom. You just don't want to play this game anymore. And you're tired of them trying to force you to play. You don't want to play. It's like, stop breaking into my house and trying to force me to play your game. I don't want it. And then, they keep trying, and their coach, this interdimensional coach or whatever, keeps saying, well, proper words, and this and that. And it's like, they're full of venom. So they've been trying to accuse you of whatever kind of debauchery they're guilty of, basically. So you're releasing them. And they want to compromise because they're at risk. They want forgiveness. They're worried about surviving. But they weren't worried about that when they were hurting you, intentionally trying to force you into a circumstance which you could not survive. They didn't care about you. They really worked hard to make sure that you were on the impossible path, that you would never be lifted. But not only do they not understand love because it's not in them, they don't understand your connection with the divine and what makes you who you are. They don't have the capacity to understand or even see what this is that you are. They just can't fathom it. Much like a child can't recognize malice because there's no malice in them and they haven't yet experienced it. So a child could be easily gullible and naive and innocent and then led into a scene of malice because they can't see it. So these ones can't see your love. They just know that they can't manage themselves in it. So they try to manage you. They're being separated. So you're moving on, you're making the transition, you're leaving this baggage behind. You're no longer responsible for holding their mirror, and you're no longer responsible for giving them care. This team of yours, it could be a family, it could be friends, could be angels and guardians, take it as it resonates. They've been working very hard on security here for this star energy, and they have persevered with their diligent efforts. They've got sustainable results. This is dead. This is dead in the water, and those people who had been siphoning and abusing and accusing are being separated from you. The lovers are here coming together, and their strength together has defeated the bully. They are in grief because you honor the physical temple that enshrines your soul. It has been the judgment that has been made in the spiritual courts. As often as these ones have tried to call you an addict or a glutton, it failed, Plant medicine is real thing. Just because you utilize adaptogens to maintain your homeostasis does not mean that you're addicted. They say, well, it's not natural. And, so they wanted to demonize it. They wanted everybody on the synthetics because the synthetics would actually poison and lower the vibration and the quality of your light. But you chose to do the natural, the thing that they don't let you utilize, the insurance, your health insurance that you pay for every month. They don't let you use that with the naturopath. They really kind of vilified that. So they're trying to say that your symbiosis with Mother Nature isn't natural. But it has been deemed otherwise, and they're in grief. They're in grief because you have persevered. So Mr. Passion Project, Mr. Knight of Wands, is in a Nine of Swords energy. They're in a nightmare because they were not successful. They didn't know that there was no greater goal than to love. They did not know that love was the proper path. Somebody had convinced them that all they had to do was be an F-boy. And that was where the reward was at. They were not successful. We've got eternal love here. Eternity. You are with your soulmate in the spirit, in the astral. I don't know if you've met yet in the 3D. If you haven't, you probably soon will. Use your discernment, because Mr. F-Boy could try to come in there and create some kind of a problem. They were not successful in eliminating eternal love. A lot of people, they chose to move away from intimate encounters because every time they did, it left them empty, and then they have to rebuild. A lot of people feel that way. So they chose to remain solo and manage their own energy and get it up there into the proper, levels that are nice. Happiness, comfort, peace, tranquility. Nobody here trying to drag me down and call me big or fat or lazy, trying to tear the mind down regarding one's own self-perception. They love it when people talk trash about themselves, and so they feed that into the connection. They were not successful. Eternal love is here, and you're at peace, you're relaxed. So they failed, and they're in regret. They're suffering a 5 of Pentacles loss. They've lost everything because of your balance, because of your ability to maintain a perfect harmony within yourself. And they're left alone. You did it alone. You did it alone. So you were alone. They thought you were alone and sick. And it could be that they were doing everything in their power to make you that way, interfering with your mental body, your emotional body, your physical body, your electrical system, all of that. Your physicality, the people who came into your world and what they would do, what they would say in order to affect your toroidal field. You managed all that on your own. And because you have the capacity to manage your own self and create this very solid, very firm, very tried, tested, and true energy of you, now you get to go be with somebody who is also that. They're not going to come in and they're not going to throw nuclear waste into your waters and then laugh at you. So there's a leaving behind, a walking away. King of Wands has overcome these challenges of passion project. He's knocked them out of the imagination. He has protected these unions, these high vibrational kingdom spouse unions from their observation. They can no longer tap into the minds. They can no longer astral project or astral travel or spy on them in any way. No mask wear. No mask wear, no fraud, no mask, no pretender. This is all about authenticity, and it will be very transparent. You will be able to trust in what you see and hear. It's not going to be proper words paired with malice. It's just not going to be that. Judgment is being called here. This is an end to this conflict, and it is an end to them blaming you for their own well-being. They have to accept responsibility for their own selves. If they wish to survive natural disasters that they themselves create, then they will need to learn how to manage themselves with that. Like if they don't want to be in a natural disaster, if they don't want to, they can no longer siphon off of somebody and then create a natural disaster, feed off of others, and then maintain their own happiness levels. They can't do that anymore. So if they wish to continue creating natural disasters and, scenarios where there's survival is a thing, the risk of survival, then they're eventually going to learn that they need to stop doing that because they're only affecting themselves. Once the support system comes out from underneath of them, they will have to learn how to manage themselves differently. They can't stop you. They can't stop you. They can't blame you. They can't beat you. They can't hurt you. They can't do anything to you. There's difficult decisions being made right now regarding these judgments, and there is discipline here. Discipline is being delivered. blessing. It could be that this potential for judgment and a new phase is because of your discipline. And now you get a blessing. You are a blessing. You get a blessing. You and your friends here are getting mercy. The network that has been working with you, you're all getting mercy. The hand of God is here. It could be that you have a network of friends who's been helping you, and that's right here in the recent past. And the work that you've been doing together is very good. You've got sustainable results. So you have lived and learned, and it could be that you're going to be the new teacher in this new chapter. You will share your information with others, and they can learn from that without having to undergo the intense challenge of the trauma. Yeah. So somebody wanted your high value life, your life of luxury. They wanted to be seen as a high value person. They wanted to cause you danger. They may still want to cause you danger. They're still having hope that if they can gently unalive you, they can step into your vessel and steal your destined path. Just be aware. Use your discernment. It's very finely tuned at this time. Somebody is afraid and paranoid. It could be that your prayers have been answered. They could be afraid of the Most High God, who is here answering your prayers and who is aware of the prayers that they have asked for. And they may be getting delivered. They don't want to hear it. They're stubborn. It's like, oh no, this is not over. This isn't happening, and they're losing everything. They could be losing their sanity. They could be having some kind of a frequency being broadcast throughout their mind, and they're losing the things that they love. You have a new vow here. You have a new vow here, and a new family tree that is full of vital force. Your family tree, I saw a picture of it visually in mind. It was it was like a magnificent oak tree. And the main branches of this tree were like bright blue light. Magnificent bright light. And the thing about it is that every shoot that came off of the oldest, like the newest shoots off of the oldest branches, they were coming out just as bright. So this vital force that is running through this lineage that you are going to be creating here is going to be powerful and potent. Low vibrational energies won't be able to live wherever this legacy, these generational family trees are. Yeah. Those who came against you. So you've got a vow here, you've got a new family tree, you've got all this good stuff, and those who came against you, it's like they're being rejected. They're you're withdrawing your safety net. So you were the one that was making it okay. They were drawing off of you while creating chaos. They were basically a simp doing the most for somebody who cared the least. And they were doing the work of somebody who wanted to keep everybody on a lower vibrational frequency of lust than the lower chakras, fight or flight, survival energy, because they didn't want anybody to raise up in the power of love and come into this pairing of unity in order to knock them out of their power position. It was all about their power position, and they had all of these knights and all of these pages going around lustful for a small little token, and they were told or sold the story that was what was going to make them successful. And they could get that as long as they remained under the umbrella of those who actually wanted to keep everybody in this lower vibration. It was crazy, man. It's like they accepted a token when they could have had the whole world. They couldn't see it because love isn't in them. I don't know why. Okay. So they're being rejected. You're taking your savings, you're taking your wealth, and you're leaving because you're entering into this a marriage with a new family. You're married, you're having a new family, and they were committing conflict, fighting you. And so you're leaving. You're taking all your stuff and you're leaving. And those people who were dominating you with magic and indulging themselves on your suffering and on your energy and vital force and all of your gifts and stuff, now all those mental disturbances, all those supernatural hauntings, those bad things that were happening to you for centuries, it's all on them now. And it's sad to me because it's not just this life, the one that you remember. This is thousands of years this has been happening, and it's all back on them now. They didn't think that it was ever coming back. Like somebody stated, they did not think that he was ever coming back. But he's here now. The Emperor is here now, and on behalf of the Christed beings, and what they thought would never happen is happening. They're overwhelmed by all of their obligations, and the gift is peaceful. There's evidence of what these prideful people did to try to trap you. There's an investigation happening right now regarding the history of what they've been doing, the many generations of history. And you have triumphed over death, and they are furious. They're furious because you're bringing up the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God. And you're not hiding anything about yourself. You're presenting everything authentically and transparently, and you're just welcoming to be, judged however that needs to be. You're willing to be accountable for whatever it is that you got going on, because I don't think that you feel you're doing anything wrong, even though these ones have been accusing you of wrongdoing for a long time, running that script through your mind, hoping that you would take on and claim the idea that you are a sinner and doing shit wrong and you don't deserve anything, so they're furious because you triumphed over death. You've reached your goals. You're on the top of that mountain there, and these ones are being confined by your alliances, by those who see you for what you are, and they're creating a stable foundation here that is secure and safe for these unions. Nobody will come in and curse them and try to separate them and try to play with their sexuality or any of that, or try to steal our wealth or none of that. So they're protesting your peaceful state. They're mad that you're relaxed, dreaming about your business, about your mate. The strategies. What are you going to do? How are you going to build this business? What's it going to be? What's the foundation? What will it do for the world? What kind of changes on a vibrational frequency? Cosmic popularity doesn't come with an announcement or any kind of recognition that is visible here. The ripples that you put out into the multiverse are felt. And it could be instantaneously. Or if not, it could be nearly instantaneous, because thought, is like, there's no gap between space-time continuum stuff. It's not like we hear here. So you could be quiet. You could be in your home creating something that brings you peace and comfort. You could be building beautiful birdhouses or whatever, selling them at the Saturday market. And the peaceful energy that you are in while you're doing that, creating from a loving space with the elements of nature, that energy right there is so powerfully peaceful and potent creator energy. And it doesn't take a great recognition by anybody in the seen world for the cosmic energies to recognize the presence of it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can be great and huge and large and be alone at the same time. You can have a magnificent effect, not only on this world, but on the multiple universes, simply by being this powerful, peaceful energy creator in motion. You carry a fortune within you, divinely connected, free flowing. And it doesn't have to be money. The intellectual property, you know, this connection that you have with Source Divine, all of these beautiful ideas. I mean, you're not out here pretending. And every success comes, before every success comes many failures. And if somebody's always reminding you of your failure, then they don't have any, they should not have any ability to participate when you finally succeed, because they did everything they could to hold you in that failure energy. And if you're not failing, then there will be no potential for success. You know, I mean, every job, like I took a job and I didn't know anything about it, right? I had no idea, I mean, nothing. I didn't know nothing. I had to go operate digital printing equipment. Man, I didn't know how to do that. And at the same time, I had to do customer service, and I was an introvert at the time. And all of a sudden I had to wait on the front counter to all these people that were coming and going, and I had to actually run jobs on these machines for them while they waited. And I didn't know how to do that. It was wild to me. But I'm like, okay, well, I'll take the job, because even though I don't know what I'm doing, it could be that I'll be really good at it, you know? And I wound up, you know, after like 3 months of failing, or having mistakes, you know, and, you know, my boss at the time was very, very kind. You know, I felt like I was making too many errors, but that's what everybody feels when they start something new and they make mistakes, and it's like, damn it, I'm sorry, you know, because you realize that there's a cost to it. So the cost encourages you to actually focus and to try harder the next time, right? If you're dedicated to learning or seeing if you're any good at it. And then after a time, so my boss, the real boss, came and asked my manager, he says, well, how's she doing? And he was so kind. He said, oh, she's doing real good. She's catching on real great. I was so surprised at how kind he was that I relaxed, and everything started happening smoothly. It was wild. And I was pretty good at it. But that's how you go, right? I mean, there's failure, and somebody can look at you and laugh and deem that you're unworthy, and they can say you can't do it, and they can fire you and treat you like hell and put out a bad report on you and all of this stuff. But they're just not recognizing potential, and they're not giving time for that potential to manifest, you know? It's wild. Everybody wants to focus on failure, and they don't acknowledge that failure is part of success. So yeah, the Emperor's here offering a beautiful, stable environment for the sun, for the star here, the rejuvenator, the revitalizer, that which brings life to the world. These ones need to surrender their need to control whatever it is that you got going on. They have failed, and they're being cast away. And we got sigh in the reverse. Like, this is, you're not sad about it. You're not sad about it at all. I mean, it's been very, very challenging. They tried their best to get you stuck in a failing position, and they could not do it. They tried their best to get you convicted of the many times you failed before you finally succeeded. They didn't want you to receive credit for the success because of the many failures prior. But that's part of success. So, work without reward. Okay, we've got They have to surrender their need to control you. They're being cast away. They have failed. They worked without reward. They're challenged by your strength. And not only your strength, but your courage and your compassion. You have grown in consciousness and awareness. You have expanded. You have learned through trial and error. You are okay. You are stable. You're in harmony. And this priest is praying real hard right now, asking God, why? Why can't they keep their thumb on you? Why can't they keep their knee on your neck, And why? Why is that? Because the Lord loves you. And sees you authentically. So you're getting a Nine of Cups wish come true. You're getting a new job. You've learned a lot. You're very good. You don't quit. You don't fail a couple times and give up. You push through and you actually give it your all and see if this is something you're good at before you decide that you're not going to try. You don't quit when the going gets tough. Even when the world is telling you that you're a failure, you don't quit. So you got this Ace of Pentacles, a new opportunity. You could have a new job. Those who brought you natural disaster, those who made your life as difficult as they could possibly make it, they now want to compromise and they want forgiveness. It could be that you're simply going to let them go. We got a letter. You know how they say when you forgive debt? What happens when you forgive somebody their debt? You don't hand them another credit card. You let it go. And you don't do any business with them anymore. So you're releasing the baggage, you're moving on. Your team here has been working very diligently on security, and they're bringing about death and separation from this lustful passion project, this lower vibrational, destructive program that hated happiness, loyalty, commitment. Creating something of legacy. They didn't want a legacy, man. They figured that schwang was legacy enough. That was all they needed, And I'm like, wow, okay. And you got these people that are creating material items in the world right now. Everything is disposable. Nobody takes pride in building a thing that will last you for like decades. If you take care of it, it will last and last. It'll last for decades. Some of these things that were made long ago are still functional today. You can find them in the antique store. It's amazing. People used to take pride in their dedication and in their craft, their craftsmanship. And now they've let go of craftsmanship for disposable this and disposable that, and that included marriages and relationships. So there's an end to that. There's a death to that. They're being separated. They might be spying you on an online community, posing as a friend. So be aware of that. This is a pleasure seeker who is actually sick about the happiness of your gifts and the end of their experience of them. For being false to a sweetheart wife. So she gets a new light-bearing, serious connection here. The bully and the thief, this person who is betraying and lying and doing all of that, trying to destroy the physical health of your well-being, your mental health, your emotional health, all of that. They're in grief because you honor the physical vessel of that enshrines your soul and your spirit, and you have persevered here. You're coming into a fortune. You are the source of what they were trying to steal. But you're not the source. See, it flows through you from the divine into this world, and they just wanted to command it. And they thought that all they had to do was have sex, right? It's weird. They were behaving like a prostitute and calling themselves a god or a king or whatever, worthy of a crown. Wild. So the Knight of Wands, Mr. Passionate, is in anxiety. They're in a nightmare. This is like, oh God, this is not what is supposed to happen. They were unsuccessful. They don't know that there's any greater goal than to love. So they were unsuccessful. Eternal love is here. It's like at least 1,000 years. They're not going to be able to touch it. It'll be consistent. Eternal love. So we've got a failure here, and they're very disappointed. They've lost all the money due to you being able to bring a sense of perfect balance and harmony to the physical vessel that enshrines your soul, to your energy, to your emotional body, to your mental body, even while you were alone and they were trying to make you sick. You were suffering during this whole thing alone, and they did not help you. They really came together as a collective of masculines and poured it on. They wanted to trap you so that they could continue prostituting the energy. But you have been reunited with your star family, your light family, and there's celebrations here. Lots of people are talking about it. These guys are getting a message. Maybe they're going to be alone. Maybe they are alone and sick right now because of the message that they have failed. They're being abandoned by this King of Wands who has overcome the challenge of these passion project schwanksters. And he is cutting out the pretender foe from the imagination. They won't be able to telepathically communicate. They can't spy on your mind. They can't steal your intellectual property. They can't curse your union. They're in despair. They're not seen as worthy of this connection. So they're not getting it. The foe is in despair regarding your lover. It could be they've lost their lover. There's widower here. They could have lost their lover because they were wishing that on you. So they don't get to take part in these love unions because there's no love in them. Judgment is here. This conflict is ending. They've made it very clear of the energy that they are comfortable in. Them blaming you for their nastiness is coming to a stop. They could not stop you. They have to accept responsibility for their own well-being, and they can't stop it. They can't stop it. So they have to accept responsibility. They have to accept the blame for their misconduct. They're all up in their thoughts, stuck in their head about a service that they were providing. Difficult decisions are being made regarding judgment. You're very disciplined. You can accomplish whatever you set your mind to. You are the blessing. You're coming into the blessing, and it's no surprise. It's no surprise. Like the divine, it's not a surprise. You're not hiding anything. You're not hiding anything. You're authentic, transparent, the good, the bad, and the ugly. North, south, east, west, upper, under, and center. Your 7 directions and all the truth of you is on display, and you're not hiding anything. You're innocent and you're faithful. Loyal. And they were burying you under infidelity, under orgies, under all this magical crap that had to do with sexual energy. And this sexual energy is sacred. It's too powerful to be effing around with like that. This is the creator energy, and it's supposed to be nurturing and bringing forth life, not sucking the life out of everything and destroying it. That's what you are. There's a scholar here, a prideful scholar in the room. It could be that if they try to get into the room, the mind, if this scholar, if this haughty, prideful scholar tries to enter into the room, the mind of love, then the Lord is going to bring him a serious misfortune. There does seem to be a servant here who's been waiting on money. They're waiting on money. This soldier is in a mental prison or an actual prison. They were trying to steal money. They're sad. There could be a young woman here that is sad over your happiness, over you getting your wings, over you going up. You're being lifted up. They're sad about it and they're sick. They got to go make a journey. Like they have to leave. They may be transitioning into the spiritual realms. And there's a lot of conversation about the house or what's happening in the house now that you have been reunited. Again, the enemies are losing their lovers. They're losing their lovers. This passion project, what they call sex magic crap, yeah, they're losing their lovers. It could be that they have some kind of an incurable that's been passed around, and maybe everybody's succumbing to that. I don't know. There is joyfulness here because we've got a shape-shifting, Jezebel, old woman. This is an ancient witch. We've got merchant and thief. She could have been charged of what is traded, sold, bought, the goods. And it could have been interdimensional or interplanetary. It could be that this old woman has to go now to the merchant because they are a thief. Take it as it resonates. We have hope for a wedding. It could be that this old woman, Jezebel, is merchant who buys and sells the energy and vitality of beautiful stars and such. It could be that they have hope to be married here. So they're not giving up. They're not giving up. You still have interferences here. They're not giving up, and they won't give up until they're completely cleared out. This is that foe that can't tap the mind anymore. This mask wearer, the mask is off. They can't tap the mind. This foe is in despair, but they're still hoping to gain a marriage. So be aware. We're just going to pull one of these. smiling because that song. That's what this love is. That's what we've got. Hot, 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 hot. So the Emperor is here, creating a safe, secure space for the luminaries. These priests, this priest or priests, need to surrender their need to control the unions of marriages and the energies of stars. They're being cast away. Their passion project has failed. You're not sad. You're not sad. They are in upheaval. They are experiencing upheaval, and it's not yours. You get to breathe a sigh of relief. It's like, oh, you get to release that upheaval. They worked without reward. They're challenged because of your strength and your courage. It's a subtle power. They didn't think that you were a worthy opponent or that you were a threat of any kind because of the subtlety with which you are present. They didn't see this in you. You've grown and expanded in consciousness and awareness. You are stable and you are inwardly harmonious. You are okay. This priest needs consolation. They're praying to God. They're like, what did I do? What's going on? And I heard the masculine say the other day, what have I done? And the thing is, they betrayed love. They decided to F it up in every single way that they could think of. And they used the body, the voice of the father to harm women and children and steal happiness and reward. And they've been walking around presenting themselves as men of God. Did they really think that God wanted them to brutalize the mother and the child? Did they think that was the way to God's heart? I don't know. Maybe their God isn't God. They've been exposed. The lies no longer work. The illusion has broken. I think what happened is too many people decided to go celibate, and they cleaned up and purified their energy, and they were seen for this beautiful, bright, shining light because they were no longer being polluted by hoe bags that were bringing in all of these this collective of lustful, of all these different people that they've been sleeping with. You stopped letting them in. And so you stopped carrying that for them. They could not blame you for it anymore. So you got your wish come true here. You got a life of luxury coming up and an Ace of Pentacles. You're going to be way, way abundant. And whatever work you do is going to be very abundant, prosperous. Whatever they tried to frame you with has been forgiven. Whatever programming they were driving through your mind, hoping that you would wrap it up in your emotions and your agitation and accept it as your own thought, it failed. You're forgiven. It wasn't your thought. Your consistent nature of being kind and gentle with yourself and putting out that kind of energy makes it very clear that when those thoughts were driven through you relentlessly for hours, that it just simply wasn't you. It was a program that was running through. These ones are being warned. They want to be forgiven. They want your forgiveness. They're in a natural disaster right now. They're wanting to compromise. They're wanting to communicate. Or maybe they have received a letter of warning. It could be that they were warned. So you're releasing that baggage. You're moving on. Your team that you've been working with here, it could be whatever that means to you. You've been working on, there's been a team here working on the safety and the security of the foundation for luminaries, for light-bearing beings. They're bringing about death and separation to these other ones who keep pushing in on your energy. And then when you push back, they say you're full of venom. So there's a death to that. They're being separated out. They can no longer push in on your energy and then accuse you of being violent because you're trying to, you want to push them out. It's like, stop pushing it. It's like that. It's like the squatter thief. They want to open the door. They want to come into your house. They want to sit on your couch, eat your food, and you're not supposed to kick them out. You're not supposed to object in any way, you know? And these people really felt that they had the right to do that. And I feel that it's that mindset that makes it so difficult for homeowners to remove squatters from their home. They legally own the home, and yet for some reason they're not allowed legally to kick out the squatter who just moved in without permission. It happened in my house. Thousands of dollars had to be spent in the legal system to get like 7 squatters out of the house before we could even do construction. And that's just wrong. So somebody's here acting as a friend. They may have been a friend, but they were a pleasure seeker. They are sick because you are happy and you are the gift. And this is the end of them partaking. They're a liar. They've been lying to and about a sweetheart, wife. Could be the wife of this emperor, star. These were scavengers trying to create an illusion after astral projecting and spying for however many months, years, decades, lifetimes, trying to frame this woman, lying about her, twisting what was happening, trying to present false evidence, using copycats, lookalikes to generate false video evidence or whatever. While she was buried, stuck, and being sucked off of her mental body, her memories, her energy. So there is a Two of Cups union here, marriage connection, which has defeated the bully. They are in grief because you have honored the physical vessel that enshrines your soul. It has been recognized in the upper courts. You're not out here doing anything willy-nilly, trying to be irresponsible. You're doing your best to take care of the vessel, which they have done their best to toxify and cause failure for. So you're using the adaptogens and the other plant medicines that Mother Nature offers you because you see and know that those synthetics that they want you to take because of this disruption will only further deteriorate you. So you're doing the best that you can. It is recognized. You persevered through this challenge greatly. You are a fortune. You're coming into a fortune. You're going to have a life of luxury and an Ace of Pentacles here. These ones are in grief. They thought for sure that the older you got, the sicker you would become, right? And that your energy output would not be vibrant and potent, and that it would be easy to keep you in this lustful survival scavenger energy, right? You did all the right things. And now it's waterproofing off of you. Whatever you're doing, these practices that you have put in place during this abuse, You have managed your electrical system, your energy output, your mental body. You could have reformatted your thinking process, or what thoughts are allowed to stay and what can't. You manage yourself to the best of your ability, and that is why when you are driven with a nasty thought form, the divine knows that it isn't yours, because of the work that you diligently put in, and you've done so for a long, long time. So it becomes very clear when you are being ran through with some kind of a thought program. It's going to roll off of you. Everything's rolling off of you. It could be that whatever cleansing and purification rituals that you have put into practice, are whatever these nasty ones are doing, it can't stick to you. So it becomes very obvious. So this Knight of Wands, Mr. Passion Project, is in a Nine of Swords energy. He's in a nightmare. He's in a freaking nightmare, a hopeless nightmare. He does not have any love in him. He did not know that there was no greater goal than to love. He was unsuccessful with his lustful practices. Eternal love is here for those who are consistent in their loving behaviors, in their self-management routine, and all of this other good stuff, right? And they're not being displaced. You are not being displaced. They could not get you displaced. Your constant loving behavior, your willingness to hold yourself accountable and to allow whoever that needs to hold you accountable. You presented yourself authentically and transparently. It could have been that you prayed for forgiveness, and maybe, just maybe, you have received it. Honesty is the best policy. You're not getting kicked out of eternal love, that's for sure. These guys failed. They were unsuccessful. Your consistency lets the divine know the truth of you. So they failed. They're very disappointed. They're in a Five of Cups. They have lost. They're in grief. They're in a Five of Pentacles energy. They've lost everything. They don't have any money. They may not have a place to live. They're being cast away. They're homeless. They're in fear. It's because of your dedication to managing yourself in a good way. And you did so by yourself. You managed yourself in balance. You kept yourself in balance. While you were alone, you did it all on your own. Your soul may have been guided by the divine, since these other ones were messing with your brain, with your mind. This inner voice, this inner guidance probably was soul related, and you were led into whatever you needed to do to manage this. So it may have appeared as though you were alone, but you weren't. And these people are in very big regret over it. They could have gotten a message that maybe that's their disappointment. They got a message. They're disappointed over a message. They've lost. They've been defeated. Due to your being able to maintain your inner homeostasis and balance, your emotional balance, while they were trying to make you sick. Insight. You have brought great insight to the habitual patterns and practices, the techniques that these ones have been using to destroy unions and health and well-being and happiness of humanity. So you have brought insight to the truth of their practices. You blew it wide open. There's no more lid on that. You were the golden child. They accidentally plucked you. See, and the Divine Mother stated they lost their wish come true when they came for you. You were that pretty little one. They did not recognize you. They thought they had covered you in so much karmic debt over the centuries. that they forgot who and what you were. They thought that you were extinct, your kind. You were the golden nugget, and they threw you away. So there is a walking away, a getting left behind by this King of Wands. He has overcome this passion project. Those who were out here ruining his reputation and the ideals that he has for family and union. So he's overcome this challenge. These mask wearers, there's not going to be any more mask wearers. We're not going to have any more mask wearing. We're going to have authenticity and transparency. There will be no more messing around with the mental bodies of people and then practicing to speak like they do, you know, fixing your hair like they do, wearing the same outfit, trying to steal energetically and spiritually their persona. There's no more of that. We've got this foe is in despair. They're no longer able to do this. It was a really bad idea in the first place. And look, they're in despair over the mischief that they have been caught doing. And the judgment that came with that. This conflict is ending. They have to accept their responsibility for their own well-being. They cannot stop this judgment. They're in their thoughts over the services that they have been offering others. They could be in their thoughts about being an indentured servant. I mean, they may have to go. I heard these ones talking about janitorial services and farm work. So these ones have to start at the bottom. It's like they will be cleaning the toilet. They will be, out there in the fields on hot days to pluck the fruits and then to bring that to whoever it is that needs to gain from it. They're the new indentured servant. Yeah, because you're going in a new direction. See, you're on your way up. You're all shining. You're all golden. And these ones are going to serve you. There is a flip. You're going up and they are falling from grace. So there's difficult decisions being made regarding the foundation of these light-filled, love-filled unions, these power couples. The energy is being settled. Judgment is being called here. We're entering in a new phase. You're very disciplined. You're a blessing. You can accomplish whatever you set your mind to, and that's no surprise. Like the divine knows you. You're an innocent child of the Most High, and you are faithful. These ones are making preparations. There are preparations being made. There's preparations for you who are faithful, innocent, and childlike, but very